All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how a great humbling is coming to the world, man. Right? A great humbling is coming to the inhabitants of the earth that disrespected the Lord, disrespected Yahweh, disrespected Yahweh Shai, and disrespected the people that Yahweh Shai had sent to that Yahweh through Yahweh Shai had sent to warn them of the coming destruction. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such that have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for, because no one ever could have imagined that aliens looked like so-called black men. The things that people call aliens, they could never have imagined that those things looked like so-called black men. That was the furthest thing away from these people's thoughts. That was the furthest thing away from what people think is going to be salvation and who it's going to be for. That's actually what's going to happen. The furthest nation what people thought was going to rule the earth is actually the nation that's going to. The most unlikely people to win at the end of all of these things is actually the one that is going to win. And it's going to be the Negro, Latino, and Native American. The people that are the downtrodden of this earth and have been told to forget all the evil that happened to them. And when you really think about every single doctrine of this earth, right, and all the talk that people have, apart from the truth of the Bible, everything else basically, one of the main foundations is telling those three groups of people who are the Israelites to forget about everything evil that happened to them. Yet everybody else can always talk about all the evils that happened to them and have days made and have people feel sorry for them. You know? Verse 2, and when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. And the doctrine of what's going to happen when the Israelites receive salvation has gone out. People are aware of the thought process that's gone out there, that they're going to have to go into captivity when we get our kingdom. But they've mocked that because they didn't believe it. But the thing that's funny about that is Yahweh deliberately put it in their minds to make it seem unbelievable, just so that these scriptures that I'm reading now can be fulfilled when they actually see these things come to pass, man. Verse 5, how is he numbered among the children of God and his lot among the saints? And Yahweh's already did something like this before in the past. Because before Abraham even had any children, he was told that his descendants, that his seed was going to go into a land that was not theirs, and it was going to go into captivity for 400 years. And that happened, right? But the nation that put them into that captivity, they wasn't aware of this conversation between the Lord and between Abraham. They wasn't aware of this. Yet all of the thing that they was doing was all being done to fulfill that thing that Yahweh told Abraham needed to be fulfilled. And the same things happened again with that same nation. But this time the nation that is oppressing them is not the Egyptians. It's now the Edomites, who is the modern day Egyptian. And all these other nations that also helped further the affliction of the children of Israel. Verse 6, therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of Yahweh, we have not known it. What have pride profited us, or what good have riches without vaunting brought us? And people are going to know that those three things that Yahweh spoke about through Jeremiah, wisdom, riches, and might, the world's going to know in that time that those three things only mean anything if you put your praise in the Lord first. And that's why when King Solomon was on the earth, and when he was a young man and he knew he was going to be king, Yahweh came to him through an angel and said to him, what is it that you desire to have while you're a king? and he asked for wisdom. And because he spoke wisely, all these other things was given unto him, because you know that King Solomon would have had might within him, because King David was his father, man, another mighty man. And when you actually know, as we know, who King Solomon actually was, right? Then of course he would have had might, and of course we've read that he had riches, and definitely he had wisdom. Yet the thing that he had most and desired most was to fear the Lord. Verse 9, all those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasty by, because every single thing that this society stands on, all the brands, all the labels, all the logos that people know just from seeing them, right? All these different multitude of logos that people desire to have on their clothing, that as when this logo is not on your clothing, the clothing might be like £2,000 less than if it was on the clothing. All these different things are getting ready to be destroyed, man. All of those things, all of people's riches, all of people's pride, all of people's clothing, all of people's jewelry, that's all that's getting ready to be destroyed, man. A great mass humbling is getting ready to take place on the earth, and that's going to come at the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, all right? Yahweh, in the name Yahweh Shai. Verse 10. In fact, let me jump down to verse 13. Even so, we in like manner, as soon as we were born, began to draw to our end, and had no sign of virtue to show, but were consumed in our own wickedness. And that's what all these people that turn their back on the Lord and scoffed at the truth of the Bible are going to be saying in that time, man. And occasionally, it can almost seem as though, if you're not paying attention, that the way how we've got is losing, man. But the way how we think is winning, because this society falling and collapsing is part of that. And we also have to remember that the scriptures say that when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. So to them, it's going to seem as though they're winning at the time where they're closest to loss. At a time when it seems that they're closest to victory, really we are. And really that's the point where these things are going to be taking place, man. I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.